Hey guys, this is Nathan, and welcome back to the Unbound realm. I hope you guys are doing good. I am doing great. So happy to be back on here, do a little bit more work on this world that is just starting to look so absolutely amazing. I mean, I just can't get over every time that I get onto this world. It just feels absolute. I'm dumbfounded by how good this is looking. But I do have to be honest with you guys. I have been trying to get an episode recorded for Techtopia, and I just can't seem to get the inspiration over there. I've been doing so much building over here, and it looks so much better than it does on Techtopia that I don't know. I'm also kind of reaching an apex of what I can do with the villagers. I mean, I can keep pushing more and more villagers into the village, but I mean, I could very easily make just ugly little box houses and see how far the mod could go. And this map here, I mean, it just feels so much more immersive, even without the villagers running around. I mean, I would love to be able to have Tango's villager mod here and to have all of those villagers actually fleshing out the village, you know, and then be able to go and build another one and do the same thing. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't really feel the same with the way that it is over there right now. But yeah, so I figured as long as I'm inspired for this world, I might as well come over here and get a little bit of stuff done over here. So, you know, in the last episode, we did get our windmill finished, and I am absolutely loving that. And man, that car was loud. But I am absolutely loving that windmill, and I started expanding the farms here, but we still have a little bit more to do. So this particular farm needs to expand all the way down here to this tree line. And we need to do a little bit more work on the terrain here as well, and some tree cutting. We also need to add in a little bit of this broken fence along the edge of the field, because that's kind of the, well, I don't really want to call it a kingdom. I guess we could call it a realm, I guess. But that's kind of going to be the border of this area. So, I mean, that's everything outside of that is essentially going to be wilderness. But yes, I've got a lot to do there with that. I may also do some work over here on this side and get a whole bunch more of the carrots, potatoes, and beetroot planted. And I want to get a couple of the things that we haven't gotten planted yet either in there, namely melons and pumpkins. Because yes, pumpkin pie is definitely something that we need for our taverns, and this farm is kind of going to be this village is kind of going to be the one that supplies the entire Church of the, I was about to say Church of the Bone God. No, the Church of Soup. This village is kind of going to be it's going to supply the entire Church of Soup with food. So we need to make sure that we have a large amount of food production here. So yes, I think we need to get some of the paths going down through this area. The vegetable farms here, I'm not going to make quite as big as this wheat farm, but we are going to do some repetition in them. So like we've got potatoes here, and then we've got this big strip of carrots, and we've got this decent sized one of beetroot. But I think on the other side of the carrots, I'm going to put another field of potatoes. And so we're going to have a little bit of variation in how things are set up here. And then once again, we are going to need to get our fences going along the edge of this dark oak forest over here, you know, the base of the hill. These trees are going to need a little bit of work because, you know, that bad natural terrain, Jen. We've also been having a lot of Enderman griefing over here. As you can see, there are little holes all over the place, and it's horrible. So we're going to have to work on that a little bit. And yeah, the fence will come along here along the top of the ridge where the river is, and then we'll bring it around and back to basically the village. So yeah, I've got a little bit of stuff to do there, and I suppose once I get it done, I'll definitely have something to show you guys. So I had a pretty good live stream on Sunday. I would imagine that live stream replay has probably gone live prior to this episode actually being finished. But yeah, we did a lot of work primarily on the farms. And so let's go out and take a look at some of the things that I did during the live stream and then after, because it's actually a day later now already. So if we come out here along the path, one thing that was severely lacking in this area was decoration on the beach. So one thing that I did was to add some sugarcane in various locations. These have string on top of them to keep them from growing very tall. Occasionally there's ones that can grow to 3, but not all over the place. In some places I put some leaves with torches to kind of light the area up. We also added some coarse dirt with too tall grass on top of it. Makes it kind of like a dune grass, and I think it looks really nice. And then over here I also did a little bit of an attempt at lighting with a sandstone wall. Here it is. So underneath here we have a torch, and so yeah, we have just a slightly different attempt at lighting. You can't see the torch no matter how hard you try, and it does provide light because light goes through the walls. So then during the live stream I did a lot of work on this wall and then started decorating it. And yeah, after the stream I did some work here on these trees because this area just didn't look right without the trees now. So we have a lot of the landscaping along here, and we also filled in, oh, there's a cat. That's a tabby. But we also filled in the entire wheat farm area. So this entire area is now finished and fully grown, and this wall just follows all the way along here. We can see it goes all the way back here like I was saying I wanted it to, and it comes back along here. And we got somewhere in about here in the live stream with the landscape work, and then I finished the rest of this after the live stream because I got really tired all of a sudden after about 3.5 hours. No idea what was going on there. But so we came all the way down here to the forest and the dark oak forest, and then connected the wall over to the wall that we had going along the path. So yes, that was during the live stream. Now, over the last day, I did a bunch of work over here. So we can see part of it right away. And that is pumpkins and melons. That one thing that I really needed that I didn't have. So I put a lot of pumpkins and melons down here, kind of interspersed them a little. So we've got a patch over here that's heavily melons. This area is heavily pumpkins, but there's a few melons scattered through the pumpkins and a few pumpkins scattered through the melons. And there's a couple of things that we can say there. It's, you know, maybe they screwed up on their seed placement, but it also could be something as simple as these are green pumpkins. I don't know. That's something that we can just kind of use our imagination on. But one thing that I did realize with this is we are going to have to take out a whole bunch of these pumpkins and turn them into jack-o'-lanterns, because mobs can now spawn on top of these blocks because there are no light sources anywhere in this field. So after I got done with that, I did some work on the path that runs along here. I think this looks really nice. And then I started filling in all of the fields here all the way out. So yes, we have our potatoes, beetroot, carrots, and then more potatoes. And then of course over here we have our pumpkins and melons. So we've covered all of our vegetables now. I'm really happy with that. I guess I also extended this path down this way. And after I got that done, then I started working on the wall running along the side of this. And it does kind of follow the edge of the hill to some degree. You know, I could have gone a little further out here, but I thought it's getting pretty big already. Now, of course, I haven't done any of the landscape work along this wall. And down here at the bottom, I kind of ran into a little bit of an issue of what to do, because I didn't really want to wrap it all the way around back up to the merchant's house. So I just ran it down straight down into the river. And so, yeah, I mean, that's where we're at on that. And then this area is getting too steep for the farms, so I cut that area off. So I suppose what I'll need to do in this area here is plant some trees. And then again, up in this area, I'm going to plant just a few trees. We're going to get a couple of oaks and a couple of birches on the back side of this and just make it feel a little bit more fleshed in and not looking so awful. But if we go ahead and fly up here, this looks really nice now. So yes, we have this massive farm here with all the walls around it, this massive farm here, and if we come off in this direction, this looks absolutely amazing. So we'll go ahead and take a land over here and look at that. So we can see a little bit of the pumpkins on the hill. We can see the wheat farm that kind of disappears into the forest, and the village in the background with the smoke coming out of the buildings and it's disappearing into the fog. And oh my god, this is so beautiful. This is exactly what I wanted. So, I guess in the last clip, I did mention there was still at least one more thing that we needed to build in this village. And as I started thinking about it, there's actually two more things that we need to build. And that means we are going to have to try to break a little bit more ground here somewhere for more buildings, because we are very definitely running out of space and I am out of hunger. So I need to get over here and get some food, and yeah, that should be fine. So also in the process of doing all of these farms, I was able to get tons of wheat and potatoes and carrots and beets, and our granary is almost completely full of all of those. I've started putting some wheat in the barrels in the mill, and I think that is pretty cool. But anyway, so what I was saying, you know, we have the two buildings that we need to build. We need to build a merchant or a general store, and we need to build an altar to soup. Because yes, the altar to soup is very important to the villagers of this village. So I suppose we could actually put the altar to soup right here. I was thinking that I might put it right in this area, but we could also maybe put it over there because it doesn't need to be very big. But the general store is going to be a bit more of a problem because we don't have any room over on this side of the village. I mean, everything is taken up. The only possible option would be over here, and this area is just too steep to build on, really. You know, over here we have the merchant's house, and so there's really no place over here to do any work. And by the way, we did get a villager in there to be our merchant. And then over here, of course, we have farms. Farms, and more farms. So there's no way we're having a general store over there. So what I'm thinking we'll probably need to do is come over here alongside the stable. And we have this flat area over here. And I really liked the way this tree turned out, but we may have to take it down. This little space needs a little bit of work on the landscaping anyway. So yeah, as much as I hate to see this tree go, I think it's going to have to. But what I might do is see if I can get a tree that looks very similar to it, maybe a little bit further over here, and then put a couple more down in this area. And then because we found out that that works so nicely on... I just saw the sun jump. But because we found out that the landscaping on the beach works so nicely over there, and we're going to be putting something closer to this edge, I think we'll probably also do a little bit of cleanup here on this shoreline and do a little bit of decorating on that. So yeah, we are definitely getting close to wrapping up this village. You know, it will be wonderful when we can finally say this thing is basically done. You know, obviously, we could continue adding things to it forever. You know, there would never really be a time that it would be done, because we just keep going slightly further off into the distance and doing decorating and things like that. So, yes, we're just going to have to say it's done. And, yeah, we'll go from there. So, let me get some stuff taken care of, and hopefully we'll be able to get this place finished up. Oh, skeleton? Where is there a skeleton? What? What? Skeleton? Where are you? Skelly? Where? Where? That concerns me, because that means we have a spawnable space here somewhere? I'll bet I know where he is. Let's go down. Maybe? No? Yeah. That's kind of what I figured. So, hi there, Mr. Skelly Butt. Got him. So, yeah, we need to put a torch down here, because obviously mobs can spawn in there. So, yep, that takes care of that. And I guess we could possibly put some cracked stone and maybe some mossy stone in here. But, yeah, we are starting to get some carrots in here and some baked potatoes. And so, yeah, we are actually getting a surplus of vegetables now. So, yeah, anyway, I figured out where the skelly was, and I'm going to get to work on some of this stuff. Well, I would say that probably says it all. So there's a trident stuck in the ground here. And obviously there is another drowned around here somewhere, because I can still hear it over there. But so I killed the guy with the trident, and I got his trident. So yes, we are definitely going to have to get some mending and stuff on here. So let's actually go and check. Do we have mending on a book somewhere? Yes, we do. Okay, good. So let's go ahead and get mending on this. I'm going to head down to the mob spawner. And oddly enough, I was just there repairing my armor and tools. And now I get to go and mend this trident. But yes, I have a trident now. So, yeah, I don't know what enchants I want to put on this. Mending obviously is a given. But, yeah, if you guys have any idea as to which one we want to go with, channeling or Riptide, I don't know. Obviously, we'll be getting more later, but right now, we're one... Oh, wow. That guy has a fishing rod. They're all over the place. What? So, anyway, yeah, I'll go ahead and kill these guys, head down to the mob spawner, and see you guys in a little bit. Well, I had a rather successful live stream on Saturday, and we got a little bit of stuff done. So if we turn around here, we can see we now have a new building here. So I made the decision, rather than making a general store here, I'm gonna make a lumber mill. Made more sense considering that there is a lot of wood being used here, and we have this little dark oak forest here. So did a little bit of stuff here, you know, made it look kind of nice. I like these. There's wooden buttons on a couple of these that make it look like there's branches that have been cut off. Also went out and got some sweet berries so that we could put those around here, and some ferns. So I think the ferns add a lot to this. Gives a little bit of texture variation from the grass, and I really like that. Now I also built a dark oak tree that is laying on its side here. Now I did this originally in Sevtech Ages, and it turned out really good there. Didn't turn out quite as good here simply because this tree is laying at an angle, and so yeah, I had to do this. And so it doesn't look quite as nice, but it doesn't look bad. So we've got that done, and I really like this area. Definitely filled this space in. And then I also did a lot of work down here along the river, making this area a little bit nicer. And so we can see there are scattered sugarcane along the coastline now, and the grass has been filled in, and bushes and lighting. The torches have been removed. Thought that really helped. And then over here I did the same thing, and I planted this little tree. I think that really helps. And so yeah, we've got a little bit of stuff going on here. And so yeah, one thing that I did decide in the live stream, we are going to have to just turn off mob griefing. There is absolutely no reason for that. I've been sitting there fixing Enderman destruction all over the place, and I'm getting really tired of it. So I will be turning off mob griefing. You know, creepers don't blow up very often for me, and when they do, it's usually in a cave, and I fill in caves, so it doesn't really matter. But so then I got to thinking about this building here, and we do not have a villager to take care of this sawmill. So I think what I am going to do is come over here and kind of remove bits of the fence here and build another house. So when I get that house done, then I think we have every building in the village that we are going to need. Now, one thing that we are still missing from this village, and by the way, I noticed on the live stream that I hadn't put flowers in the flower boxes up here, so I went ahead and took care of that. But one thing that I have noticed, or that I know we're still missing from this village, is a temple or shrine to soup. And I was trying to figure out something to put in this little space here, and the space is just too small to really make anything that looks good. So instead, what I have decided to do is we are going to make a tunnel into the side of this cliff, and this leads down to our spider spawner. And yes, right now I'm smacking my head at every drop, but we will get that figured out. So yes, we're just going to go ahead and make this a tunnel leading to the double spider spawner. Now, one thing here, when I got down here close, this area right here. Now, if we look real closely, there's water dripping here. So this is the underwater ravine right here. And yeah, we're going to have to figure out something here. And we may even do as much as to put glass on it so that we can look out into the water when we're here, or when we're coming down here. So yeah, that's going to be a little bit of work still to do. But once we get that all done, I think we can officially call this village complete, and we'll be able to move on to other things. So yeah, I've got a little bit of work to do. I am going to be getting into the Sunday live stream here in a little bit. And so yeah, we'll probably work on this tunnel in that. And in the meantime, I think I'm going to work on this house for a little while and try to figure out how I'm going to get the path to run over here to this tunnel entrance. And so yeah, I definitely have some things to take care of, and I'll see you guys after a little bit. Hopefully I'll see you guys in the live stream. So I got done with the Sunday live stream just a little bit ago, and we had a very long live stream at that. It was 8 hours long, or just shy of it, and we got a lot done. So one of the first things is I realized we had no sign here on the stable. So I went ahead and put this up here and put some saddles on it. And so I think that helps. Makes it a little bit better. But then I went ahead and built the house for the lumberjack. And I'm really happy with how this turned out. And we have something in here that I find really interesting. It was a recommendation from one of the guys in the live stream. And we have a fireplace, but we have uncooked meat on a campfire. So the way that we did this was we had a lit campfire. We quickly put all of the raw meat on there and then threw a splash potion of water on it, and it puts out the campfire but does not remove the items. So you can't put the items on the campfire when it's not lit. So this is pretty cool, but we have another campfire underneath it that is producing the smoke particles. I think that is really cool. But yeah, just a pretty simple interior in here. We also did the little couch cushion trick with the banners underneath the sofa. I think that's pretty cool. And then upstairs, we have another house with a crib. And yeah, just a little bit of simple decorations up here. Nothing major. Then we started on a major project. So we've got this path running around the side of the house, and it leads to a tunnel that runs down to the double spider spawner. So rather than having the shrine for soup in the village, I decided we're going to just have a tunnel that they can get to the spider spawner. And we ended up going through an underwater ravine that is open to the surface. So we just went in and put some glass in here. Obviously, it is not finished. I ran out of vines, and so I need a lot of stuff to be able to finish the texturing in here. You can see these walls have not been textured at all, and I have not done any work past the glass portion of the tunnel. But so this does lead right into the double spider spawner. We had to move a few things around here, but yes, very nice. We got this finished, and I set down a crafting table there when there is a crafting table right here. Really? Oh my god, what is wrong with me? But yes, we definitely are getting this place close to finished. So I do need to go and do an awful lot of vine farming, and I might need to set up a vine farm for that. Be just a temporary thing. But also we have been running very low on dark oak, and so we have been working, and let me grab my rockets here. We have been working on getting the dark oak forest cleaned up over here where the fire burnt it down very early on in the server. And so I've been cutting down the trees and leaving stumps and letting the leaves despawn, and we have a sapling over here that I need to grab. But so I've just been cutting down the trees and letting them despawn, and once I get an area cleared like this one here, I go ahead and replant the trees and then let them grow. So eventually this forest will be back to its former glory, and that should be really nice. But I do have to say this village is almost completed. So if we fly over it here, we can see lots of little houses and businesses and other buildings, and it looks great. Got the big, huge farms and all of that, and I am so happy with it. And so I think in the next episode, we are going to be moving on to this. So we are setting up for where the wizard tower is going to be, that is going to contain the nether portal. So yes, we're going to have to fill in this cave here, which isn't exceptionally deep. There's going to have to be some terraforming done here, because this hill, even though I want the tower to be higher up, this hill is not very conducive to building. So I'll have to do some work on that, and I think we'll be able to make this look pretty cool. So yeah, that is where we are at. And I think that's going to have to be it for this one. So I'm going to say thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, be sure to give a thumbs up. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. If you have any thoughts about what I've been working on or anything that you would like to see, be sure to leave that down in the comments. We did have a name finally decided for the village here in the live stream, but unfortunately I don't know how to say it because it's in Swedish. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of research on that, see if I can figure out how to say that in Swedish. But yes, we have a name finally, and yes, that is pretty cool. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.